The shame of it is, as long as you and I have been doing this, the problem stays right where it is. What do you think about what Mayor Adams is trying to do in New York City?
Look, I can't give you a one-word answer. I can't say that it's a good thing or a bad thing because I understand the frustration. Mayor Adams is under a lot of pressure. There have been some high-profile incidents where mentally ill persons who happen to be homeless attacked people, murdered people, and so he's under a lot of pressure. The problem is that involuntary hospitalization is like a Band-Aid. You know, people would be admitted to a hospital for maybe 2 weeks max, and we just don't have the facilities. We don't have the ability to provide the long-term care that so many people who are currently living on the streets need. The only long-term option for most people, unfortunately, in New York and Los Angeles and so many other parts of this country, is jail. And here in my hometown of Los Angeles, in the 1990s, there were these two buildings that were constructed as part of the LA County Jail called the Twin Towers. And they were just supposed to be jail facilities because the men's central jail was overflowing. But one of those towers has now become the largest mental health institution in the world, the largest distributor of psychotropic drugs in the world. When I visited one of those twin towers, the mental health institution, I saw inmates that were chained to tables because there were no options for these people. So those who are on the streets who have a diagnosis of a severe mental illness, they very often just cycle through incarceration in this country because there are no other options for them.
What do you make of the political attack that, look at all these homeless in these big cities that are all run by lefties? This is what they do. This is why they don't deserve power. Fair criticism?
No, it's not a fair criticism. I mean, these cities happen to have very large populations, so naturally we're going to have more problems with homelessness and mental illness. I mean, again, in Los Angeles County, we have about 64,000 adults who are currently unhoused, and about 25% of them are said to have severe mental illness, and 27% are addicted to various substances. So I think it's unfair if you just look at the populations alone.
There is a coddling concern, and it's easy to misunderstand this argument. I kind of jumped it a couple of times myself, but now I understand a little bit differently. What you said earlier is true, that we do not have the facilities, but you do get a little bit of a chicken and egg situation, where if you allow people to stay out on the street and allow them to forego the help they obviously need, not that all homeless are mentally ill, but they're certainly in need of services in almost every case. The longer you allow it to stay like that, the less capacity you will have. And that the right way to instigate change is to start forcing the need to be able to provide the care. Because you can expand, you can hire more, you can build. And that may be what needs to happen in order to start that catalyst in places like Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco.
You're right, Chris, but the problem is, though, that it's just a bandage. And so those same people who will be picked up off the streets and involuntarily hospitalized, they're going to go back to the streets. They may go into a hospital and they may get the treatment that they need for the time being. They may get on a treatment regimen, but then they'll be released back onto the streets because there's nowhere else for people to go. I spent time with relatives of people who are living on the streets, who are dealing with severe mental illness, and they're desperate. They actually would like for their relatives to be involuntarily housed. The problem is that there's just nowhere for them to go. I mean, they need community. And one of the things that really struck me the most, and the thing that I think surprised me the most while working on this episode is, as you were talking about this earlier, it's so easy for us to just walk by or drive by people who are aimlessly wandering or talking to themselves or shouting profanities. But what I was so surprised to learn, and it was confirmed by this incredible book that I read called Healing, which was written by Thomas Insel, who is the director of the National Institute for Mental Health, is that even in the most severe cases, those people who are shouting profanities in the streets, they can recover and go on to live normal lives. I mean, I think that's something that we lose sight of. Again, we just want them off the streets, whether they are sent to jail or wherever, we just don't want to see them. But they require a treatment regimen, they require a plan, they require also a purpose, a reason to be able to contribute.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.